here is a quick overview of some of the moving parts in your pool equipment. You'll notice that you have two pumps. Those are the two tan looking things right in front of me. One on the left is for the waterfall. The one on the right is your main pool system. In front of each of those, you'll see that there are connections and then additional pipes. So I have these labeled. The labels will probably wear off before too long. So here we go. This first one is your pool main, and then you have the pool skimmers. There's two of those, and you have the spa main. So these valves that we're seeing down here at the bottom are the move by hand valves, which for the most part you won't have to worry about moving at all. What these are telling us is if it's parallel with the pipe, it means that it's open. If it would be perpendicular with the pipe, that would mean that it's closed. So right now these are all open. And to make things even more fun, as you head up from the spa main, you'll see that you have a Jandy valve actuator. And what that means is wherever the off position is means that that pipe is closed. So in the current position, this means that we're drawing water from the main drain of the pool and from the two pool skimmers, but the spa main drain is closed. If you put the system into spa mode, that valve will turn so that it will pull water from the bottom of the spa and return it to the spa so that you're only heating the spa when you want that to be happening. The rest of the time, the pool will be running, and you may, on occasion, use the spa overflow feature. So going through one pipe here, this main pool pump that I have labeled has a flow valve up on the top that you can just see that the water is moving. You'll notice that for proper operation of the pump, it almost looks like nothing is happening. This means it's fully primed, completely full of water. You see just a hint of an air bubble in there, but that is full operational and everything's working. The trick with these is if you ever have to service the system, meaning if you get leaves and debris in there, which we can see there's some leaves in there today, you'd need to turn off the pump and then open make sure that your spa main drain is closed, and then you could open that lid and be able to take the basket out and empty out any debris that's in there. So traveling further up the plumbing pipe, you'll see it goes into this white contraption that's called a multi-port. It's called a multi-port because it has multiple ports. One of them in the current position that it's on is filter. You also have waste, which you would use if the pool is too full and you ever needed to get rid of some of the water. And then you also have close, backwash, recirculate, and rinse. Once the water comes into the multi-port, if it's telling it to filter, then it's going into your filter. Again, this filter is fully functional right now, and you'll see there is water up in the top, but it's not really moving. That's actually functioning completely normally. And you also have a pressure gauge, which is currently showing us that the operating pressure is operating at just shy of 30, about 28. So we'll tell you what your normal operating pressure is. If you notice that the jets slow down in the pool, the water flow slows down, things just don't seem to move as quickly as they used to, it normally means that it's time to backwash. Normal operating pressure is going to vary with each system. So once yours runs 8 to 10 pounds higher than that, meaning if normal is 25 and it starts getting up to 35, then that's when it's going to be time to backwash, and we will show you how to do that. When you follow the pipes coming back out of the multi-port, so once the water is filtered and it comes back out, it comes into these two pipes right here, one that goes directly into the heater and one that bypasses the heater. So the reason for this is because you have really big plumbing and we don't want to force all that water through your heater because it's just too much. So we actually reroute some of it. So this valve, this blue valve that you see right here, will normally stay in that position. You don't really have to worry too much about that. Once the water comes through your heater, you'll see the little silver and black apparatus. That's your zinc anode. That's because we've got the saltwater system on here and you need a sacrificial anode for any corrosion. So that will corrode and it will need to be changed from time to time. We'll keep an eye on that for you. After the zinc anode, you've got the flow valve, which again is just making sure that our flow is going in the right direction. And when the system gets turned off, that'll also prevent any backflow from occurring. The next thing that we're looking at is your salt cell. We are getting a little bit of a flow light indicator on this today, meaning that it is going to be time for us to backwash your filter. Between the flow light on here and the pressure gauge, you'll know when it's time to backwash. One other time you'll know when it's time to backwash is when the heater doesn't want to fire, because the heater also has a protection on the inside that tells the system when it's not getting enough water flow. So normal operation, you want the salt light to read good, you want the flow light to be green, and then you want the chlorine output to be whatever it's going to take to keep your system happy. At this point, we're still figuring that out. I'm thinking closer to 80 to 100% for the next little bit until we figure that out is going to be a good thing. So you'll see we quickly adjusted the chlorine production in the control panel, and now we are all systems go as far as chlorine. The flow light is still telling us it's not completely happy, so we'll be working on that. So following this pipe that comes down to another valve actuator, this is telling the water where to go after it has come through the heater. So the pipe that goes off to the left here goes down to the periscope, the waterfall, and the slide. It also goes down to the returns to the pool, which would be this entire section over here. And then the other pipe coming straight forward is going to be to the spa returns. So you'll notice, because we've got the system on pool mode right now, that both of our spa valves, which are these two actuators right here, are off. Those will be programmed in the system with the push of a button. They will both turn to turn the spa function on and turn the spa function off. So you'll just need to keep an eye on those if anything abnormal ever happens, and let us know about that. Moving on over to your next valve actuator. This is the section where you've got basically a bypass for the in-floor cleaning system. So right now with this configuration, the op is pointing toward the periscope and the waterfall and slide. So that means that the water coming through the heater is going straight through back into the returns to the pool through this Q360 valve, the in-floor jet. So this is everything, all systems running normal, and you'll be seeing the cleaning in the bottom of the pool happening with the zones popping up and down. This valve actuator that Mark is going to label in the panel, the secondary valve, is what can be turned if you want to add additional water over the waterfall and slide and then run your periscope. As you can see here right now, the periscope and the waterfall slide valves do not have actuators on them. So when they are emptying their pump basket, they can just take the basket out as long as the spa main is closed. Empty the debris from the basket. Notice Mark put the lid back on the pump. That's just to prevent more air from getting in there than necessary while he is mucking out the basket. Make sure that the hole in the front of the basket points to the hole in this pipe, meaning that the hole is facing the pipe. That gurgling sound is water feeding back through the plumbing because you got air in there. So to run a backwash, Mark is going to turn off the pump. He is going to turn the handle to backwash on the multi-port. He is going to turn the pump back on. Speed 3, start. It's going to take, this is called the priming process. You'll notice that the basket's empty. The pump ramps up and you'll begin to see water flowing. If the water has been allowed to drain out of the pump, this process could take as many as 3 to 5 minutes. Normally, you should begin to see some water flowing pretty quickly. Mark said it takes longer than that.
No, if it takes any longer than that, then shut it back off and time up the pump.
If it takes any longer than 3 to 5 minutes for you to see water flowing through this, you'll want to turn everything off, get the garden hose or a bucket of water, add some water to the pump, get the lid back on, and then try it again. You can see it is just starting to pull a trickle of water. And here we go, more of a full prime is beginning to start. And that is a fully primed pump. So now what we're doing is reversing the flow of the water in the filter to clean the debris out. What we want to do is keep an eye on the sight glass, which is the little glass on the side of the multi-port. You'll notice that it's dirty, cloudy, and you'll want to run the backwash until the sight glass looks clear. Another 2 to 4 minutes, depending on how much debris you have built up in your filter. Here's some fun bubbles dancing in the pump. These will eventually work themselves out once the system is fully operational. So our sight glass looks pretty clear. So the next thing Mark is going to do is hit the stop button on the pump, change the valve handle to rinse. He is going to turn the pump back on by hitting 3 start. And again, we didn't lose prime this time because we just had full water prime. So just changing the handle didn't allow the water to escape. So we didn't have to wait for it to prime. So we'll rinse now for about 30 to 45 seconds. Again, until the sight glass gets a little cloudy, dirty, and then gets clean again. Now that it's clear again, Mark is going to turn the pump off again. Again, very important not to ever move this multi-port handle while the system is running because there's a gasket in there. You will bump out of place. He moves it back to filter. He pushes 3 start. The pump is going to start back up again, and we will have a fully backwashed system. All systems should start to run with a higher rate of flow and get back to normal. Operation, we want to run this main pump on speed number 4. That is going to allow us to have 3110 RPMs and a completely happy flow light on our salt cell. You'll notice on the salt cell, if the salt level ever says low, it'll be time to add some salt. If you ever see that red flow light, it'll be time to backwash. Again, something you can try to do yourself or give us a call. We'll take care of it for you.